So what's up, guys? Mike from Slow Speed back here with another video for you guys. Today is going to be pretty exciting. I've been waiting for this part for a bit now. Finally came in, super excited, despite everything that's going on with the whole, the world and the masks and all of that. Still trying to stay positive and, give you guys a little bit of content for you guys watch when you're at your house. Today's video is going to be about the, torque bike BPM4. I purchased from EOS Speed, Evolution of Speed. It seems like one of the smaller companies, and the only company that I know that offers this type of product. I haven't seen it anywhere else. Essentially, it's just a fuel pump module. I'm going to tell you guys kind of what it is, why I need it, and if you should purchase it as well. So going back in time, thinking and planning of just running more fuel, ethanol, whatever the case may be, even before in the stock turbo days, I considered upgrading the fueling. These cars are not as bad as the M54s with the low pressure side. Huge limitations on these cars is still the fueling. Now, you can go back and forth many different ways, kind of argue, oh, BMW kind of took a step back, but a step forward, or whatever the case may be. They designed these cars to push 300 horsepower and not more. So I don't see why they would spend more money to make it more moddable in a sense. BMW's kind of, I would say, kind of closed when it comes to a lot of the I think they frown upon a lot of modified BMWs. That's just what I think. Now, what a lot of people would do is they would go port injection. Port injection, there would be a little spacer and it would sit in between this and this. Some people like it and some people swear by it. I just wanted this to be as reliable as I could possibly keep it. All right. Now, that is more of cheaper, cost-effective solution. There was the XDI 35 pump they have for a bit as a high pressure fuel pump. These motors are direct injected. So basically what happens is low pressure fuel pump, every car has one, sits in the gas tank. That gives it the flow. It sends about 100 psi up top to the motor, where the high pressure fuel pump kind of takes it, compresses it into about like 2,000 psi in order for it to spray directly into the cylinder. So direct injection is directly into the cylinder, and port injection is injecting into the intake port. Now, injecting to the intake port, you can typically get more fuel in there because it's not under pressure. The cylinder has so much pressure in it, you need that 2,000 psi to squirt it in there. So a lot of people run meth. Now, I'm not here to say meth is a band-aid or port is a band-aid, whatever the case may be. I just know that those systems use outside controllers, and I had a JB4 in my car before. Loved it while it worked. However, ran into some issues as far as it getting wet, and oh boy, it started frying a lot of stuff. So I have really ran away from that type of stuff, and I want the computer to control pretty much everything that I'm throwing at it, if that makes any sense, the stock computer. So basically you have to run a separate controller, JB4 or split second, and same thing with meth. There's no really full complete meth systems with all the fail safes in place and things of that nature. So things may leak, go wrong, and then kaboom. And yeah, you're looking at a very sad day. And for those of you who may not know, a lot of the systems that I looked up, if they have a different one, go ahead and put in the comments. But to my knowledge, is kind of a batch fire setup. Now, what batch fire is just more than one. So essentially you have more injectors than kind of going off than you need. I'm not sure if it's just 2, 3 going off at a time or all 6. When I first did research on it, I just assumed it was all 6. So essentially, when one cylinder needs fuel for direct injection, that one cylinder gets the fuel, or 2 cylinders need the fuel, 2 cylinders get the fuel. Is directly controlled by the computer. With this port injection, multiple cylinders will get fuel. I'm not exactly sure why, but that's just how it works. So I was able to skip out on getting port and then having to upgrade to low pressure because I was kind of using my fuel, I would say, the most efficient. And another thing is tuning as well, because you have to tune those things a little separately. It's like an additional thing on top of just the engine tune. So that's pretty much the main reason I figured if I run the high pressure fuel pump that I have in the car now, the Spool FX150, I can get by with running pump and maybe a little bit of ethanol with the stock low pressure fuel pump. What I went ahead and did was I purchased the Walboro 525 Hellcat pump. And what that is actually a 470 liters per hour pump. I know they say it flows 525, but I've done research and that's really at low PSIs. Boosted motors, you'll never see that. And the fuel pump takes up a little more voltage. The stock wiring harness and the stock fuel pump control module cannot support that current for extended periods of time, overheats, and can potentially damage your wiring, fuel setup, and will leave you stranded on the road. I went ahead and picked up the pump from a place called Full Throttle over here, a local shop. Paid about 130 bucks for it. Now, Fuelit sells a stage 2 kit. You could do the 525 pump. Kit's about $2.99, and then there's extra $75 for the 525 pump. Ship out a whole new sending unit to you, and you just send them back, your old one, however that works, or a deposit, something like that. But basically, I went ahead and tried to tackle this myself. I just wanted to do things a little bit budget-wise. I figured if I'm paying 650 bucks for the fuel pump module, I just want to see where I could save a few dollars at. So you guys will see me take out the fuel pump and swap out the pump, the hose, wire it all up, put it back in the tank, and then go ahead and connect the BPM4 to it. So that'll happen pretty much in the next video. Go on to, you know, put some E in this thing. All right, guys, on to the install. Voila. This is the fuel pump. Well, you know what I mean. Yeah, be careful. Set this aside. Woo! Yo, I always seem to know how to cut myself. Attach this on, and I'm gonna do counterclockwise. Woo, that's on there tight. Hold on, I'm gonna get back to y'all when that sucker's off. Okay, wanna play rock? Who's the bitch now? I like to talk to myself. Finally got this bad boy out. So easy. It was these lines right here. I thought it was the wiring, but it's these lines that's just, it was just getting caught on the edge. Oh my God. Yeah, the piece is right here to take it off. Just push this in. Bruh, look at this shit. It's a, look. So as a quick update, because I ain't gonna leave you guys hanging, and I ain't gonna lie to you, this was a pain in the ass to get off. There's only one way I managed to get it off. I ended up breaking this on an accident. So, might not be what you want to do, maybe a better way, but that's just how it came out on my end. So, comparing the two pumps, this is the stock OEM pump and this is the 525. Now, thankfully, it's the same, I guess, size body-wise. The end is a little bit bigger, but I think I'm just going to poke that out the bottom of the pickup, or the bottom of this little harness thing, and we're going to try to do things that way. Now, as far as electrical-wise, this connector is obviously a lot different. my plan is I'm going to try to use the supply connector. Go ahead and push these out as properly as I can, and try to wire the pins in from the kit. So wish me luck. So don't have much time. Battery's about to die, but I'm gonna walk over exactly what I had to do to get everything ready to go back in real quick. I wish I could have DIY'd this for you guys, or like had a complete video of every single thing that I did, but I got super frustrated, and yeah, so this is what I have now. I'm gonna tell you guys. So everything's put back together. The 525 pump is in here now. Now, for comparison purposes, the stock pump is extremely smaller. I realized that, and the filter is small as well. So you got to cram a big giant fuel filter down there with the bigger pump. So I ended up cracking the inside of. Is little in here, you can't see it. I'll try to get better coverage. I ended up cracking it a little bit and putting a zip tie around it. Hopefully it holds. I went ahead and used the supplied harnessing in the kit, or the supplied connectors, and I went ahead and just converted it from OEM. Nice clean setup from OEM to aftermarket. Over here, the fuel line did not line up, the one I purchased online. I needed a longer one. So what I ended up doing is running out the SK Speed really quick out in I think Lindenhurst or Farmingdale, something like that. And I picked up 516 submersible fuel line, rated up to 100 PSI, and this can support E85 as well. For about 26 bucks. So everything, it was a complete pain in the ass to get this done. I see why Fuel It and all other companies offer plug and play, because this is a complete bitch. Camera's dying, and I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this in the car, and hopefully everything's on nice and tight. I gotta remember to connect the fuel level sensor for the other side, and the fuel line that goes across the other side. And yeah, I'll put that in, and I'll speak to you guys later. Another thing I forgot to mention is while taking these lines off is super difficult, taking a nice small blade or cutter, box cutter, whatever, and just cutting lightly to open up the line. And yeah, I was told you cannot reuse these, so don't reuse them. I went ahead and got this. Hopefully this lasts a lot longer than I think it will. And yeah, we're gonna be ready to rock and roll. Let me throw this in. Well, car is done, well, for the most part. Now, I made a couple videos, so bear with me, because the ending of all of these videos are pretty much gonna be like right now, the same location. Just gotta give you guys proper outro. So, completed the fuel pump install. Take you guys to look at it for a bit. It's working properly. A couple of things that I am going to address. Gotta unlock the door. Everything in the bucket seems pretty good. Still smells like gas a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to take off the cover a little later on. Expect to see the condition of the seal or whatever, make sure no gas is leaking out. That's one. Two, I was gonna push it. I'm gonna run some E, push it, and hopefully that line is pretty good. Got it from SK Speed. It's called Gates, submersible 100 psi line. I used some clamps on that sucker. It was really hard to get it on in the beginning, but I used some clamps, so hopefully that line stays on. Yeah, but for the most part, that's pretty much what I gotta be looking out for. As you can see, I did not put the seat or cover back on because I want to keep this open just to keep an eye on it, and I really haven't completed this. This is really janky. I've noticed, and it doesn't get warm at all, thankfully, but I noticed that these are the ones that you can heat up, and it's like a heat shrinking thing. Not gonna do it because I'm gonna change that whole setup. You see I got the electrical tape on everything on there. Just happy to get the car working. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put butt connectors on there and heat sink them together, and I'll just never have to go back in there to access that. I don't even know why I put those type of connectors on there. I just did because I wanted to have some kind of quick disconnect type of thing. Yeah, I'm gonna put the seat back in, or maybe leave the seat back out for weight, who knows. But yeah, that seems to be about it. Video after this, you guys gonna see that I put the BPM in. The BPM is currently in the car right now as we speak. However, that is a whole separate video, so I'll touch base on where I put that and everything. Now, that Walboro 525 pump, it sounds a lot different. You can hear it whirring. I don't know if it's because I have no seat, but you could definitely hear it whirring. And I noticed that as you increase boost, the actual pump gets a little louder as well. Maybe the module, but I think it's the 525 pump. So I'll put links down below where you can get your 525 pump, get the proper hose for it, the length, all the specifications. And if you guys want to tackle this project, there's a guy by the name of BPM4 Module. I'll put a link of his video down below. He did a bang up job on the fuel pump install, a lot better than me. I just made it, kind of time lapsed it. The thing about me is I get a little antsy and a little frustrated when I'm doing stuff. I do it on the fly, so having a camera by me, hearing me curse a couple times might not be appealing to everybody. So like I said, he did a really good job. I will also put the link where you can just get the stage 2, 3, 4, whatever, just full bucket. I do recommend that if you just have money to blow, but if you don't really have enough money, you're in a pinch, then just do it my way. And if it breaks, at least you didn't pay any money for the install, but then you might spend more money because you got to pay for the install. I don't know, but like I'm saying, that's pretty much it. What am I expecting? I'm expecting to run full E out of this car. I was thinking about mixing, doing E50, part 93. Now, I'm not going to give you guys the secret sauce for the kill tune, but what I will tell you is just day-to-day, everyday driving, I'm just going to run full E here. I realized something about myself. I'm not going to kill myself with the mixtures and all of that just to drive around town and be faster than everybody. The kill map will be coming soon. I just got to dial in the E map. So 93, is dialed for the most part. We haven't put on the dyno after we got this pump installed, but it feels like it pulls stronger. We'll see. We'll throw it on the dyno 93 as well. We're working on the E tune right now, so me and David Shoop, we're going to dial this car in on full E. I'm just going to skip out all of the E50, E60, mixing this. Whatever comes out of these pumps here, which I've been told is even E60, E70 itself. It just was going to go in the car just for ease of use. If somebody else is driving, they can just go dump E in it, or they'll just learn how to use a tablet and put 93 in the car. I want the car to be as drivable as possible, fun as well, you know, and we can turn up the power. Now, the Spool FX 150 and the Walboro 525, I'm pretty sure we can make some damn good numbers on just full E, but we will see. Now, the kill tune, I will release the numbers, maybe the mixture, maybe, but definitely the 93 and 85 tunes. Stay tuned for that. We'll go on the dyno. With that being said, Mike from Slow Speed, I don't know if I got anything else to talk to you guys about, but the pump is a win. It's a success. 130 for the pump, 30 for the install kit, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I had to get the hose. The hose is about $24 to $25 from SK Speed. It says fully submersible. We will see. A lot of you guys have been telling me no, it might disappear or vanish. We will see. All right. So, yeah, that seems to be about it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Keep doing this thing. Peace out.